Stop and look at this image of Padang for a second. It's a hot morning, one of those where the air feels still, and the only thing you hear is the sound of wooden boats bumping against each other at the harbor. If you were there, you'd see the sun hitting the domes of the mosques, smoke rising from the food stalls, and you'd smell that mix of sea air and traditional Indonesian spices. Nobody was expecting a thing. At that moment, the biggest problem for anyone on the waterfront was the heat or maybe getting to work on time. We live under this illusion that life is a cycle that never breaks, that tomorrow is a guaranteed promise. But the reality is that we live on top of a giant that every now and then decides to stretch. And when this giant moves, it doesn't give a warning. While tourists were taking photos and kids were flying colorful kites that streaked across Padang's blue sky, way down below, where the light doesn't reach, the ground snapped. It was a sharp movement, a monumental crack in the Earth's crust that pushed up a column of water the size of entire cities. But up here on the surface, the first sign wasn't a bang. It was an unsettling quiet. You know that kind of silence that makes your ears ring? Suddenly, the breeze stopped. The birds, which were everywhere, vanished as if they'd been erased from the scene. And anyone looking out at the sea in Padang saw something that defies all logic. The ocean started to go away. It pulled back fast, with a sucking sound that felt like the world was being drained. Where there used to be waves and life, all that was left was mud, exposed coral, and boats tipped on their sides. A lot of people just stood there, frozen, not understanding, watching that void as if it were a show. Little did they know that was the final warning. The sea wasn't leaving. It was just gathering momentum. It was arching its back to deliver the final blow. And then, the sound of sirens cut through the air. It's not a normal noise. It's a long, high-pitched wail that hits you right in the chest and tells you that time is up. In that instant, Padang's peace turned to dust. Reality hit everyone's face at the same time. You see the panic start as a murmur and turn into a collective scream in a matter of seconds. People dropped everything. Flip-flops, bicycles, merchandise. None of it mattered anymore. The only thing that mattered was running. But where to? Padang's narrow streets became labyrinths of fear, with horns blaring and the sound of tires screeching on the asphalt as everyone tried to reach the hills. When you look at the horizon, that blue line that used to bring calm had been replaced by a dark, filthy wall that looked like a moving mountain. The sky's mood shifted in a snap. Heavy clouds covered the sun and green lightning began to streak across the horizon, as if the universe itself was in shock. When the water hit the shore, there was no fight. A tsunami doesn't break things. It simply ignores them and rolls right over. Look at these aerial images. Cars being tossed around like they're made of plastic, wooden houses being disintegrated, and giant shipping containers, weighing tons, floating and slamming into buildings like pieces of some macabre game. The water wasn't that clean water from travel photos. It was a thick, black mass full of oil, mud, and everything the city had built over generations. The sea poured through windows, blew out doors, and turned every alleyway in Padang into a trap with no way out. The noise is what scares those who were there the most. A constant roar, the sound of concrete being crushed and metal being twisted. In the middle of it all, the rain began to fall heavy and cold, mixed with the salt from the ocean. Power transformers exploded along the way, creating blue flashes before the entire city went dark. At that moment, Padang was no longer a tourist spot. It was the stage for an unequal war between man and the raw force of the earth. What we're going to see here is exactly that timeline of chaos. From that quiet morning where everything seemed perfect, to the moment the horizon rose and changed everything forever. It's a tough reminder, I know, but it's necessary. We need to understand what happens when the planet decides to take its space back. Pay attention to every detail of this sequence. It's a record of how life can change in the blink of an eye, and how Padang faced its darkest day. An important notice. All images and the narrative in this video were created by artificial intelligence. This is an artistic and visual simulation project to show the impact of a disaster in Padang, and does not represent footage of real events.
It's coming! Run! Help us! Someone help us! Get to the roof, quickly! Hold on tight! The rope is slipping! Oh, let go! Cepat! Air datang! Air datang! Lari! Tolong kami! Cepat! Lari semuanya!
Look, over there! We have to try and reach it!
I can't hold on much longer. We are live from above the city. Everything is destroyed. We need help. Give me the child, quickly! We're losing the position!
Please, take her! We need that section clear immediately.
Move the concrete to the left, carefully. Water this way, please, make a line. Food packages here.